Hello and welcome to the program. The 16th International Human Rights Documentary Film Festival Docudays UA will kick off in Kyiv on March 22nd. It involves various projects aimed to popularize the documentary cinema and to increase the level of respect for human rights in Ukraine. The slogan of this year's festival reflects on its main focus, the digitalization of people's lives. To talk more about this festival, we are joined in the studio today by Ksenya Shymanska, human rights defender and coordinator of the Docudays UA Human Rights Program. Hello, and thank you for joining us. So first question, the slogan of this year's festival is the digitalization of people's life. Why choosing this topic?
We are choosing this topic because all of us are using all different devices each day. So we need to think about our privacy, and we need to be sure that all the information which is contained on our social media, on our different pages, are insecure. But we are not. So that's why we are going to talk about our privacy, about freedom of speech, and about the digital security. So it's going to be interested for our as users. I mean just normal users, and also it will be very interesting for different experts. For example, for experts from IT sphere, because we are going to talk about social media, how they are turning into our life, how they are changing our life. And also we are going to talk about the practice of our judicial system, a special European Court of Human Rights. There are a lot of decisions which are connected with freedom of speech, with our privacy, and it will be, of course, interesting for lawyers, for judges. So we are will be glad to see all of people. Also human rights defender.
Yeah, because it's quite interesting. There is this trend in certain, I'm thinking China or this country, where there is a use of digitalization basically to impeach or to go and to help censorship and to monitor certain behaviors. Is it a way, can that kind of festival and culture initiative can be a way or to counter, to raise awareness about this danger?
Yes. Also, we will talk about this because we have in our main program, which called Network. We will have a chance to saw a very a great movie which contains information about how some special units are monitoring all the information which is in network, and how they are predicted some type of crimes. So and also we can open a digital world from this program, because we will have one more very interesting film which called Cleaners. It's about the content which we see in Google, and we will discuss who is choosing this content, who is choosing this photo, video, which we are using, watching every day. Because sometimes people are asking, why do we need this censorship? We don't need this, because we need to know each fact as it is. So it is important for our history. But another part of society think that we need this censorship because sometimes we have too much violence, too much blood in this video and photo. So we will answer on this question, who is deciding on during this main program. So for sure it will be very interesting.
Now there's another even part of the festival, Docudays, called Impact. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, that's a special laboratory which we called Change It, and it contains three very great movies. And all these three movies are very important because they are part of huge impact campaigns, which are talking about social problems and this campaign, each of this campaign are very important because, for example, I will tell you about one of them. There is a film Unrest about one woman. She at one moment she feel very ill, she feel very bad, and she do not understand what's going on with what was going on, with her, and she was afraid. That's because there is no answer for her questions. Is it ill or what is it? So she discovered her ill, and she find a lot of people all around the world, and find them, and they are also sick from this illness. So they make together huge campaign to talk. The goal of which was to talk about this illness, to
make it aware and for people to be aware about it,
and also to talk about tolerance to these people, to talk about possibilities to move for these people because they have disability, and then they need just to stay at home, and they have no possibilities to go out and to watch something, to enjoy their life. So it is a very huge campaign which was created only by this girl which has a very strange and very bad disease. So as for me, that's a huge chance to learn how to build this campaign with the help of documentary. So we will have a person who was impact distributor of this film. So she will told us how had it happened in Great Britain. So I hope it will be very useful for those who are created their own campaign, for human rights activists, for activists who are not who are just involved in human rights but do not know how to make this a huge campaign.
Which is quite interesting, because usually, well, not usually, but the mechanism of my understanding of documentary is like you have let's say a social problem, a social issue, and then comes a movie about this social issue, and then people get aware. Like here, it's like you reverse the whole thing. Like you have the documentary first, and then the social campaign awareness comes after.
That's for me. This movie was not the first of this, not the first step of this campaign, but this movie was like in. Was parallel with this campaign. So this movie describing how this campaign was created, and how people was included in this campaign. So this movie is not only the description of the problem, but also
a methodology,
like a recipe.
In a way, a recipe, yes. Now, Docudays, just to come back a little bit on the festival itself, Docudays is the only international human rights documentary festival in Ukraine. Why is it the only one? Are there other ideas for the Human Rights Festival? And why is it important to talk about this issue right now in Ukraine?
I don't know why this festival is only one, but I know for sure that this festival is important because that's the huge possibility to those people who are just interested of documentary movie or just interested in human rights to prove their knowledge about human rights, to follow all the brand new, all the very famous documentary from which we are taking from the all over the world, and that's not only a possibility to listen some information, but that's a possibility to talk with some experts, we have a lot of forms to be included in this festival. So that's not only movie and you can watch it. That's a lot of exhibitions. That's VR trips where you can follow the basement where the people were captured illegally. So you can try a lot of forms, and you can, and of course, I'm sure everyone could find the form.
Yeah. So it's also a way to immerse and to emerge people into the fully, let's say, cinematographic experience.
That's the main goal. Yeah.
Now, the first one was held back in 2003. The country went through a lot of changes since 2003. Now, did the festival, and how did the festival change according to these changes? Did it had like more funds? Was it more open? Well, how would you describe this change since 2003 in general?
Our festival became more professionalized. We have now program for professional documentalists who are creating documentaries, so that's very important part of our festival. Also, we have huge human rights program, and that's this year the most important, that we have the biggest human rights program. So we are trying to be interested not only to the people who are just interested in documentary. We are trying to be interested for the professionals who are creating this documentary, but themselves, to producers, to a lot of people who are involving in this process of creating movie. And also we are trying to be interested for people who are professionally included in this topic, human rights defending, for lawyers, for judges. So we are trying to be to find more options, to be interested in, and also find not only forms, but find a lot of new topics. This year we also find a few new. We will talk about cyberbullying, about this topic which is connected with our lives, with lives of our children, which is very important. Also, we will talk about political prisoners, which is also very important, and also we will talk about the successful campaigns with the help of social media, which is also very important, because we are now just thinking that social media, that's huge dangers.
But it can also be a tool for certain things.
Yeah, of course, it could be a tool, and also it could be a tool for our teenagers who are finding some motivations or some possibilities to grow up. So also it contains a lot of information about education. So we need to know about these tools and it will help us to use them. So we will talk not about the problems which is connected with social media, also,
And to conclude this interview, what's next for Docudays? Because, well, it's a festival, but as you said, it's also a place where people can meet, can talk. Do you see it become the landmark event for Ukrainian documentary cinema? And do you see through this festival certain trends coming out? And so what's next? Really in general?
We have a lot of things what's next, because we are helping producer to meet producer. So we are bringing a lot of producers from all over the world to help our producers from Ukrainian movies, to help them produce their movies. So that's one part. Another part, we have moving festival, movie festival, which is usually going from one city to another and showing these films to tell people about these problems, about these issues, which is connected with these films. So we are spreading this information, which we can have on the festival in Kyiv, but also we are spreading this information in local communities, and we sharing these good practices also from human rights program to be sure that people in the local communities also have these tools
and
how to protect
that process.
How to protect them, how their digital rights, how to be sure that there is enough security tools for them to protect their privacy. So we are very interested we are very interested in spreading this information, not containing by ourselves and by our events only in Kyiv. And also we are going to create a campaign about the cyber grooming and cyberbullying. And but the start of this campaign, we want to start this campaign during this festival and finish on the next year, on the next festival. So we will analyze all the issues, all the problems which is connected with the cyberbullying and cyber grooming, and also we will make some work group with experts who will work on solving this problem. And I hope next year I will tell you that we are solving this problem, or we are near to this.
And we hope to see you again in our studio to talk more about the next project and surely about the next festival. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you in the studio today. That was Ksenya Shymanska, Human Rights Defender Coordinator of the Docudays UA Human Rights Program. Thank you for watching the program and stay tuned for the rest.